Do you have a friend who wants to know what he can do to improve his erection? My name is Eduardo García Cruz. I'm a urologist, and for more than 15 years I have been helping men who have problems in the sexual sphere, such as premature ejaculation. And in this video I am going to explain 4 things that you can do every day to improve, avoid having erection problems, or, if you are starting to have erection problems, try to attack those erection problems and make your penis improve and function more naturally, in a more normal way. The 4 tips are tips that have been scientifically proven to work. They're basically: 1 is physical exercise. Now I will explain to you, there is a type of physical exercise that increases testosterone levels. The 2nd and 3rd are 2 toxins that you should never, ever take because they directly affect the erection. And the 4th point I want to discuss are some nutraceuticals, some products that can be useful when it comes to improving your erection. What exercise do you have to do to improve your erection? I will explain to you what you have to do, and I will also explain to you a type of physical exercise that worsens hormone levels, and therefore I do not recommend doing it. If you do it, you have to. My advice is that you always do it under supervision. High-intensity interval exercise, for example CrossFit, boxing, all sports that involve some muscle growth. A certain muscular hypertrophy, which are metabolic, in which you spend a lot of energy. They are very intense, but they are for a short period of time. What they are going to do is increase muscle mass, and what you are going to also do is overexpress the testosterone receptor. And that's okay. We know that regular exercise reduces the risk of having erectile dysfunction. Or put another way, a sedentary lifestyle increases the risk of having erection problems. However, there is some type of physical exercise that can also worsen hormonal levels, and we also know that it can worsen erections. And that is what is technically called volume exercise, which are those exercises that are submaximal, that is, you are not so physically demanding and the exercise lasts a long time, such as running for a long time, cycling for a long time at a pace, always at a very slow pace, swimming for a long time at a very slow pace. We know that it inflames us, and that makes the erection worse in the long term, and it also worsens the hormones. Therefore my first advice would be to exercise very intensely 3 to 4 times a week. This has been proven to improve erection. It has also been shown to reduce the risk of suffering from erection problems over the long term. Erection in the long term are 2 toxins that you do not have to touch to preserve your erection for as long as possible are, and it is no surprise, tobacco and alcohol. Smoking worsens the function of the arteries and capillaries, produces arteriosclerosis, etc. You've heard it 100 times. Regarding the erection, that is also true. We know that men who smoke greatly increase the risk of erectile dysfunction. We also know that if you have mild erectile dysfunction, quitting smoking can be helpful. The same with alcohol. Alcohol can have an effect on the liver. It is hepatotoxic, and that can have a negative effect on hormones, and therefore I do not recommend it. Also, one thing that also happens with alcohol is that when you consume a lot of alcohol acutely, something that happens is that you have anemia. When you are drunk you have much more desire, but what happens is that vasodilation occurs, which you might think is good, but no, because what happens is that what the body does is prioritize the vital organs, that is, the brain, the heart, lungs, and it produces vasoconstriction in the rest of the body. Among those organs in the rest of the body is the penis. Therefore, that is why it is very common that when we drink a lot, we have a lot of desire, but it is more difficult for us to get an erection. That may not be the case in young people, but as you get older, like me, you will notice that if you drink a lot of alcohol, it will be more difficult for you to get an erection. Therefore, it is something you don't have to do. The topic of nutraceuticals, which is a topic of great interest. You ask a lot of questions on the channel about nutraceuticals, and I am going to talk to you about both. There are many nutraceuticals, and I do not want to say that the rest do not work. I am simply going to tell you about 2 that have more scientific evidence, which are Korean red ginseng and Mediterranean maritime pine extract with L-arginine. These 2 nutraceuticals have been shown in scientific studies to improve erections. So, especially in men who have mild erection problems, or if you are in a season in which you have a lot of sexual activity and you want your erection to work a little better, then you can use any of these two compounds. I repeat, Korean red ginseng or Mediterranean maritime pine extract with ginseng. L-arginine, of the two that in my opinion have the most scientific support specifically for the erection. I am not talking to you about testosterone or desire, I am talking specifically about the erection. To improve desire, to improve testosterone we have other compounds, but these two, red ginseng and pycnogenol and arginine, seem to be the most effective in making the penis function a little better. Therefore, today reviewing we have intensity physical exercise. It is very important not to do volume physical exercise in the long term because it can inflame us, it can decrease hormones. We have two toxins that you already know, tobacco and alcohol, which clearly worsen sexual function, and the third are some nutraceuticals. Many men ask a lot of questions about this. How should I take this? How often? Is this good or bad? We really can't answer all your questions, but that's why we're going to start with the direct ones shortly. So subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, you will receive notifications of the live shows we do. You will be able to ask me live any questions you have. If you liked the video, found it useful, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. You know I have a friend who has a lot of videos about urology and male sexuality. All the best. Ciao.